This is Shelby and Quinn backstage at the Grand Ole Opry with Kaitlin Butts, here to talk about your new album, Roadrunner, which I'm so excited is finally out.
Yep.
Can you share a little bit about it? I know it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
I've heard you play Roadrunner probably a million times before the album was even announced.
So Roadrunner is basically the musical Oklahoma reimagined in today's world in the country music space. And I have taken songs and moments and characters from that musical and created songs around a moment or a character from that musical.
Now you're from Oklahoma, so was that something that you grew up watching and you loved?
Yes.
And then so it's...
As a young girl, I'd go see local production of it in Sand Springs, I believe. And they'd have like berries and cream ice cream, and we'd always go with our paper fans and go watch Oklahoma every summer. And it was one of the most... I loved going to see it because I grew up doing musical theater. But I loved the cowboys. I loved, the Western theme, and I loved the songs and the murder and the humor and just everything to do with it and the costumes. And I tried to implement everything that kind of raised me into the next thing.
There's one of the questions that I had about it. I think it's a really cool project. But I was wondering, was there an aha moment at some point in your career that made you want to do it? Or was this something that you kind of had in the back of your head, as you were exploring a music career?
So originally, no, I don't know how I hadn't thought of it until it was like the light bulb moment. My husband and I and my mom were watching Oklahoma because my husband, Clodo, had never seen any musicals growing up. And so in 2020, we were watching movies of different characters. Like we'd go watch all of Jack Nicholson movies and we'd all watch Anne Hathaway movies. But this night he was like, I've never watched any musicals. And since that was a big part of my life growing up, that was my whole life growing up, and going to see musicals and be in costumes and go to recital, that was just everything to me. And so to get to show him a part of that, I was really excited about. And we start watching, we watched Chicago first because that's like murder.
Yeah.
That is the all-time scary. I love it. And then we put on Oklahoma. I was like, okay, because he watched Chicago and he was like, I love that. I'm like, you're gonna appreciate a musical because you're a songwriter. You can appreciate what goes into a show and production and stuff. And so we put on Oklahoma, and I'm sitting there and I'm realizing I have a song that goes with pairs with a moment. There's a woman, her name is Lori in the movie, and she throws Judd out of his own wagon, just throws him out and takes off and leaves him in the dust. And I was like, I just wrote a song that says, why do you give her the spur when you know she needs the reins? And I was like, holy shit, that would be such a cool visual to pair with that. And then I'm sitting there and my brain starts to think, do I have any other songs that go with it? And then I start thinking about a song that I have called Wild Juanita's Cactus Juice that is like a peddler woman. And in the movie, in the musical, there's Allie Hackham, the peddler man, who sells these elixirs and smelling salts to help you make decisions and all these things. So I kind of paired them together, then kind of went on and then started writing to the musical, started writing from the perspective of watching it myself as a grown woman now. And I don't know, lots of things went into it, but that was my light bulb moment, was in 2020.
Yeah, and it sounds like, there were obviously, you just said that you wrote some to fit with the musical, but there might have even been some songs that you wrote subconsciously that ended up fitting perfectly into the project. So I just think that's really cool.
Absolutely. Like Elsa, and Elsa more specifically, I had written probably in 2016 with Courtney Patton. And that's about, me playing at an old folks home for several years, or a couple of years. And I'd go play there once a month, and it had nothing to do with Oklahoma. And I really wanted to put it on this album, but I couldn't quite find a place. I couldn't figure out the narrative. And then I rewatched Oklahoma for probably the 17th time. And there's a scene where Aunt Eller, the older woman in the movie, she has this talk with Lori where she says, lots of things happen to a woman and you just gotta keep going, And she said, there's lots of things to be afraid of, getting scared, being alone in your old age, but you just got to keep going. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy shit, this is perfect. Everything that I wanted, it was being placed into my lap, every single time. So lots of little synchronicities.
And it's crazy to hear the creative process. Hunt You Down was one of the singles that came out, and I loved that song, but I had no idea it was a Kesha song at first. So how you connected Kesha and Oklahoma is insane, but it worked perfectly.
It does. I mean, All or Nothing is just about a song that I connected it to is like he's checking her commitment to him, and it's like the modern day version of that. It's like, if you fuck around, I will hunt you down. It's the new version of that. So thank you. I'm glad you like it.
And then can you talk about the visual aspect of it all? I know you've come out with a couple of music videos. It's a whole production.
Yeah, I knew if I'm gonna do this, the biggest part for me was the visual. You know, I mean, the songwriting definitely comes first. If you don't have the songs, you know, like, what are you doing? But then once those were done, I knew that I had, if I was going to say that this was an Oklahoma-inspired album, you have to have the visuals and the costuming to match it, and you can't half-ass it. And so, thankfully, I found someone who is equally obsessed with Oklahoma and musicals and country music, Chris Baverty, who's a great director out of LA. He helped me pull it all off, got a choreographer, who's Noel Bajandas, who's done choreography for Dancing with the Stars and La La Land, the movie. And, like, we made some really, really cool music videos that I'm really proud of that like matched and exceeded my expectations of what I like really wanted it to be. Because I'm like, you can't just not pull it. It has to be perfect, or else I will not put it out. And they just like completely blew me out of the water with everything. Every little detail is just perfect.
Side note, La La Land is one of my guilty pleasure movies. I love it so much. I know that has nothing to do with this interview, but I maybe just confess that to whoever's... Okay, yes. But I did want to ask also, obviously this is a personal thing. This is something that's very unique to you. So how has it been seeing fans react to some of these songs and connect to them themselves?
I think... I mean, it has been just like a couple of days, and so I haven't been able to see the reaction in person yet. I just see people on social media, but the messages I've gotten from my friends and peers and fans have been really encouraging, because I've had this product for so long, been working on it forever. We did the music videos in January, right? And it's like I have all these cool things and I haven't been able to talk about them, but to finally have the product to hand over and show, just like give them a little bit of a taste, like what we've been doing, it feels so satisfying. And yeah, I don't remember the question, but I think I did.
No, you answered it. It was good.
You answered it. Speaking about the tour where you're actually going to see everyone and see everyone's reaction, can you explain how this headlining tour is going to be different than maybe other tours you've done?
I mean, I think set-wise, I've never had... I mean, we've been doing just trying to get our bodies into the venue. I think the next level is production and lights and making, you know, it feel more like a musical like an actual production. Because all of my shows, we haven't been able to afford the things that I want to do yet. And we're just now getting people to be able to buy tickets, and that way we can afford to really put on a show and really make the connection visually on stage and really pull people into like an immersive experience when they come to a show where, you know, singing songs is just enough. Like I definitely think that somebody who's an artist should be able to get up there with a guitar and their instrument or whatever it may be and perform it, and it still connects. But that extra like element totally adds to the vibe, and I really hope that, you know, we pull through on that one.
I'm going to go back to music videos, because you were talking about, you know, all the choreography that goes into those types of things. I'm interested, you know, just watching the Hunt You Down music video. There's a lot that goes into this, the choreography, the set production. For someone that might, you know, a fan that might be listening that's interested in how much work goes into something like that, what does that process look like when you all try to tackle, you know, such a big production like one of those music videos?
So that was a one-take shot.
Yeah.
It took 4 takes. That was the 4th one. And can I tell them the fun fact? Fun fact, I really, really wanted to do the 3rd take, but I almost failed to notice a nip slip. And I would have had my Kardashian moment. But anyways, so almost, you know, released that into the world, but we went with the 4th take, and there was thankfully no nip slips. But we actually I got no debriefing on how they were going to execute. I told him what I wanted it to look like. I told him what scene I was matching it with. And basically he picked out the set. He got the choreographer, who got the dancers, who took the 2 little dancers in the background, and to bring that element from Oklahoma where the 2 little girls are like little temptation girls in the backdrop. Other than that, I had no prep before 30 minutes before we started shooting.
Wow.
they did such a great job of prepping beforehand. I'm learning the choreography as I'm doing my makeup. And we'd already shot a whole music video that day. So we started getting ready for Hunt You Down at about 7:00. And as I'm getting like my blush, I'm getting my dress zipped, I have the choreographer going, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. I never heard about it, you know? And I grew up doing dance, so it was kind of easy, but I mean, you just hope that you remember how to dance, even though it was like 12, 15 years ago or something. But they were so prepped going into it. And, you know, and then Clutto has never done anything like this. So he like nailed it with the emotions, but they did such a great job of coaching us through it and said, okay, so we're going to start here. And also, by the way, we're only doing one take. And we're going, what? Like, how are you going to do this? And, you know, I don't know, they just coached us so well and were prepped beforehand where you just want to nail it for them and you want to pull through. They did a lot of the work on that. I just told them the vibe.
That's crazy I feel like that's a moment where it's like you're either going to crack under pressure or you're going to excel.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds and
everyone's, it's at the end of the day, too. So you're like, these people are trying to get home to their wife and kids, or they've been working all day long. And so I just remember the third take, there was like one thing that we were kind of being nitpicky about. We were nitpicking. We were being nitpicky. But we did one more and it was like, hey, we gotta do it on this one. This has to be it because they're getting a little antsy. And I was like, okay, we'll do it, you know. And I'm doing that with a broken dress on. My zipper broke right as we were like putting it on. We're having to like makeshift things, but we made it happen. And yeah,
that's
good
awesome.
Team of people.
And then I saw, again, your poster for the tour, the Roadrunner tour. You are out on the road pretty much the rest of the year, which is wild.
Yeah.
So many days. How do you do it?
Caffeinated and with help from a lot of people. I mean, lots of preparation. I don't know. This is the busiest I've ever been, so wish me luck. I don't know. I have no idea how we're gonna do it, if I have enough stuff to wear, but I just know that I have the people around me that will help me at least like get ready for it. And because this is what I've always wanted, so I feel like I've had enough experience, you know, doing it at the base level. I'm excited to get in front of these people with new songs and a new show.
And you touched on it earlier. You said that you're almost trying to create an immersive experience for the fans that are going to show up. So is that how you would describe your live show, immersive, or is there any other ways that you would, you know, put words to it?
I hope so. I hope that people feel at least that they can leave whatever they're going through at home and feel like they are connecting with the people around them through songs or just having fun. I hope that people like dress up and really get into the spirit of like a country music show. I mean, I want people to dress up like Bo Peep if they want to, or do whatever they want. But I really just hope that people feel like they're disconnected from reality and they get to experience like a real show and leave happy and connected.
Are there any places, venues, or stops that you either haven't done that you're looking forward to doing or just excited to go back to?
I'm excited to go back to Billy Bob's, Texas. I love it there. The first time I played there, I expected maybe like 400 or 500. I was like hoping for 400 or 500 because the last time I had played Magnolia Motor Lounge, I had like maybe 300. And I was like, okay, Billy Bob's is huge, but I'm playing a small stage. And if we had 300 to 500 people in there, it'll feel solid. And we had 1,800 people just packed into the room and line outside the door. I think the spirit of like Fort Worth, Texas, they love country music and they love supporting people like me, and they have such great radio support with 95.9 The Ranch. And so I just love going back there because they have a lot of fire. And but I'm excited to go back to Oklahoma too. And I started the year off at New Year's Eve at Kane's Ballroom with J.R. Carroll. And it was the first time that I like walked on to Oklahoma from the musical. Like that was like my walk-on song. And just to hear people that, you know, relate to that song so much and grew up singing it just like me, like I'm excited to go back to that and have all the Oklahoma references and have those people that love the Oklahoma musical. Like I'm excited to go back there and back to like a hometown venue of mine.
And last time you were at Billy Bob's, I remember you had the giant spaceship. So I'm excited to see what you do for this one.
I'm coming out on a horse, damn it. I'm riding a horse on stage.
Tanya Tucker did that here at the Opry.
She did? Oh, for her, like, roses, or what's it called?
I can't remember what it was for.
It was like her breakout, her re-breakout.
Yeah.
album.
It was either here or the Ryman, but I remember wherever it was, they were not happy about it.
Hey.
I think the horse pooped
don't ask permission. Apologize. Or what is it?
Yeah.
You have to one up the spaceship, so you have to come out on a horse at least.
I'm really trying to brainstorm. Like, am I going to pull a wagon on stage? Am I going to ride on a horse?
Can you tell us a little bit about the openers that you're going to have with you?
Yes. I'm having a friend, Ken Pomeroy, who's from Oklahoma. She's an incredible songwriter and just person. We send each other memes, probably like 14 memes a day. But she's a great songwriter and a gorgeous singer and really thoughtful with words. And I'm excited for people to hear her. I have Fancy Haygood, who I've always been a fan of for probably the last 6-8 years or so. He's hilarious and an incredible singer, songwriter himself. And Angel White is one of my favorites currently right now. He is like a little rock star. I adore him, his style. I feel like he has such a vision. You can tell where he's going. He's headed to the top. So I'm excited to have him on the shows and introduce people to folks that they've never heard before.
We don't have much time left, so I just want to quickly go through some rapid fire.
Okay.
Fill in the blank. Sad country songs and blank make me happy.
Sad country. Wait, say it again.
Sad country songs and what make you happy?
Murder.
Okay, I guess, those can go together. What is something that's still on your bucket list? This could be career-wise or just personal.
Okay, I'm going to do both. Personally, a pool. I want a pool. And I want to meet Dolly Parton.
Yeah. Good ones.
Gotcha.
What is the thing people come to you for advice about most?
How it's mostly women and how much they should ask to be paid most of the time and how much they should ask for because as girls, we get told what is normal and we don't ask each other. And every time I'm like, please ask me because I've done that gig before. Here's what I got paid, but here's what we should be asking for. Okay. Here's what I know Cleto has gotten paid for that same gig for the same amount of hours. And you're where he was also whenever he played that gig. So that's mostly, we got to share those kind of things whenever we're looking out for each other.
The answer is always more. Right? Always get paid more.
Yeah.
Favorite sad country song?
Oh my God. Shit. I have a playlist called Glass Case of Emotion. Okay. It's called, oh my God, what is the title?
This is one that we probably should, by the way, we're going to ask you
I know.
Your favorite sad country song.
People always are like, there's so many songs that I do.
If I just want to cry, the one that's coming to my mind is not that sad. It's just more like Yvette by Jason Isbell is really great. But it's more murder. I need sad. What is sad? There's one, and it's not even country. Okay, I really love Angels Like You. That's one of my favorites by Miley Cyrus. It's a pretty sad song, but she sings it with such oomph behind it. I love that song. It's very moving.
I listen to your cover a lot.
I love that song. I love that sadness.
And last one, what are you doing when you're not playing music?
I'm scrolling TikTok. I am playing with my dog Hank. I am probably ordering Uber Eats or cooking or shopping online or prepping for the next thing. But if I'm not doing any of those things, I really like to go have cocktails with my friends. Fancy ones.
That's right.
Or going to karaoke bars. That's another one.
So, karaoke song, that's one that we sometimes ask. Yeah. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Right now, it's Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin. That's my go-to.
It's a good one.
And I just have to say this, repeat the story, because a lot of people in the podcast probably haven't heard it, but I have what I thought was a Flatland Calvary and Kaitlin Butts tattoo. But then last time we were in this room, you told me that you actually are not on the song. So
it's okay. Just add we'll find out a tattoo that you can have.
It's the state of Oklahoma on next. No, but and then I think you told Cleto, and then Cleto was telling me yes, I guess someone got a tattoo, and I was like, oh, it wasn't someone.
It was me. It was me.
Yeah.
So stuff kind of gets out of our hands sometimes, and I was like, dude, you need to get your hand back in some of this business stuff because you're great at writing songs, but you need to let people know make sure that the details are correct with who is singing. Like songwriting, I maybe can understand like who was in the room or instrumentation or like a video credit person. I don't know, but like who is actually voice on it? Like someone heard it, surely. But it did sound like me. My mom thought the same thing, and then I was like, no, that is a man's voice. So thanks.
Photo just sings really high.
Yeah, it does.
Well, congrats on the new album.
Thank you.
And we're excited to watch you tonight.
Thank you so much.
And murder came up a lot in the interview, I feel like. So we hope that you murder your Grand Ole Opry performance, if that's appropriate to say.
I hope I do too.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.